Today, we're going to pull apart a really unique piece of media, an AI-generated holiday video that came out of Russia. And we're not going to look at it as just some cartoon. No, we're going to treat it as a calculated piece of foreign policy. It's like a geopolitical Christmas card that tells us exactly how the Kremlin sees its friends, its rivals, and its own place in the world. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the medium itself. The fact they used AI in the first place. Then we'll dive into the gifts, decoding the messages for both allies and rivals. We're also going to look at who they left out of the video, because that's just as important. And finally, we'll put it all together to see what it tells us about Russia's modern strategy for projecting power. Okay, so what are we actually looking at here? Well, the centerpiece of our analysis is this video. In it, you've got this character, a sort of Russian Santa, who uses AI to cook up and send these symbolic gifts to different world leaders. It's a very modern, almost playful take on a super old practice, state-sponsored messaging. Now, to really get what's going on, you have to see this video through the lens of what's called information warfare. This isn't just about entertainment, it's a strategic tool. The humor and the cartoonish style make it super shareable, and it gives the Kremlin this plausible deniability. Oh, it's just a joke, all while they're sending some very serious geopolitical signals. All right, let's get to the good stuff, the gifts themselves. We're going to start with the countries that Russia considers its friends and partners. And you're going to see that these gifts are anything but random. Each one is a carefully selected symbol meant to define a very specific strategic relationship. This table right here, it's basically a map of Russia's foreign policy priorities, and you can see there are clear tiers. At the top, you've got China as the key financial ally. Then there's Turkey, a high-tech partner in energy. North Korea is openly presented as a military supporter. And then you have Hungary, framed as a dependent energy partner right inside the EU, and Venezuela, shown as a symbol of anti-US solidarity. Each gift basically spells out that country's role and value to Moscow. But out of all of these, the gift to China's Xi Jinping, man, that one is a big deal. The image is of a tree that's literally shedding US dollars, and they're being replaced by Chinese yuan and Russian rubles. This is a crystal clear symbol for a shared economic mission, de-dollarization. It's all about chipping away at the world's reliance on the US dollar, which is a direct challenge to America's financial power. Okay, so we've seen the friends list. What about everyone else? Now we're going to turn to the rivals and some of the more, let's say, complicated partners. And as you'll see, the tone here shifts dramatically. This is where we really see Russia's tactical flexibility in action.
And wow, does this slide lay it all out there? The contrast is just incredible. On one hand, you've got Donald Trump. His gift is a polite, almost nostalgic photo from a past summit. The message? Let's keep the personal channel open. But then you look at Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenskyy. His gift is a pair of handcuffs. There's nothing subtle about that. It's a direct, hostile message symbolizing Russia's war aims. The difference is night and day.
But it wasn't all just hugs for friends and threats for enemies. The gift to India was much more nuanced. And as analyst Yuan points out here, it actually reveals that Russia sees the relationship as pretty transactional. It's a view that was apparently met with a bit of disappointment in India. So what did India get? A model of a Su-57 fighter jet. Now, on the surface, that seems like a nice nod to their defense relationship, but the implication is that it's just a simple buyer-seller deal. And what's really telling is what they didn't show. They completely ignored the deeper, more collaborative projects that India is proud of, like the joint development of the BrahMos missile or their cooperation on nuclear energy. It's a subtle but very significant choice. And that brings us to maybe one of the most interesting parts of this whole thing. Who isn't in the video? When you're analyzing propaganda, you have to remember that what's left unsaid can be just as revealing as what's shouted from the rooftops. The countries left off this holiday list are sending a message all their own. So who didn't get a gift from the Russian Santa? Think about it for a second. The list of who's missing really helps us draw the map of Russia's current strategic focus. So you've got major players like Japan, key South Asian nations, and pretty much all of Western Europe, except for Hungary, of course, completely ghosted. By leaving them out, the Kremlin is effectively drawing a line in the sand. The message is pretty clear. Right now, for the purposes of this public messaging, these countries just aren't top-tier priorities. They're not important enough to be praised as a partner or even condemned as a rival. Okay, so let's tie all these threads together. What's the big picture here? What does this little AI video really tell us about Russia's modern information strategy? Because this wasn't just a random collection of jokes. It was a playbook, and we just watched it run.
You can really break their playbook down into 3 simple steps. First, you use AI and humor to make your propaganda go viral and seem less official. Second, the whole story positions Russia at the center of the world, acting as the global power broker who rewards its friends and punishes its enemies. And third, the timing is perfect. You drop it during the holiday season to get the most eyeballs on it.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the point? It's really simple. This Russian Santa character is just a tool, a vehicle to project one specific image: Russia as a central, powerful player on the world stage, a country that gets to define all its relationships completely on its own terms. And that leaves us with a huge question moving forward. As AI makes it easier and cheaper for anyone to create incredibly sophisticated content just like this, that line between normal digital diplomacy and full-blown information warfare is going to get really, really blurry. The challenge for all of us is going to be figuring out how to spot the difference.